Hello, my dear family. Peace be with you. Today I have brought you the most popular movie called Life of Pi, which was released in 2012. My family, please help us by liking the video. Without wasting time, let's go to the movie.
Yes!
A local writer talks to Pi Patel and thinks that Pi's life story would make a really good book. His parents named him Piscine Molitor. In India, where more people speak English than French, his friends call him Pi. To stop this, he decides to call himself Pi. At first, his classmates don't believe him. He has a surprising talent for writing the mathematical number that starts with 3, 14 and goes on forever. From that time on, Pi gained the respect of his friends and teachers and became a legend at his high school. Pi is from a Hindu family. His dad works at a zoo, and his mom studies plants. His mother teaches him about Hinduism when he is young, and he sees different gods as his superheroes. Pi's father is a modern Indian who thinks we can learn about the world using science. Dad says that Pi can't really believe in 3 different things at once. If he believes in all of them, then he doesn't truly believe in any of them. But Pi is not discouraged in what he believes. Pi believes that both humans and animals have souls, and that animals wouldn't harm others if they were treated kindly. One day, Pi secretly takes his older brother to the zoo to feed a tiger called Parker. His brother warns him, and Dad comes to take Pi away before the tiger can hurt him. To teach him a lesson, Father tells his servant to attract the tiger using a goat. When the gate is opened, Parker runs to the goat and eats it quickly. For Pi, this specific scene has turned into a trauma, shattering his faith. As he gets older, Pi spends the most of his free time reading books and studying philosophy in an effort to comprehend the purpose of existence. He meets a dancer one day and is captivated by the way she moves. Pi follows the dancer to ask her what a dance move means. The dancer laughs while copying the dance and says it represents a lotus flower that's hiding in the forest. Later, Pi falls in love with a dancer and takes her to meet Parker. But the father's zoo runs out of money because of the economic downturn, and he plans to send the animals to North America to sell them. He also says that the whole family will move to Canada. Even though Pi disagrees a lot, his father still doesn't change his mind. Before leaving, he enjoys some nice time with the dancer. A dancer puts a red bracelet on Pi's wrist. Many years later, Pi doesn't remember how they said goodbye, so he gets on a ship to go abroad. Later, as the ship enters the Mariana Trench, it experiences a huge disaster. In the fierce storm, big waves crash against the ship's deck. When Pi wakes up, he happily goes to the deck. Soon after, water gets into the ship, making it sink. Pi quickly returns to the cabins to rescue his family, but he finds them completely underwater. Feeling stuck, he goes back to ask for help. Right now, the cook and some sailors are loosening the lifeboat ropes. In the confusion, Pi is shoved onto the lifeboat. As soon as a zebra jumps into the same lifeboat, the rope snaps. The enormous waves drive the lifeboat farther and farther away, setting it adrift. Pi shouts and whistles in helplessness as he looks at the sinking cargo ship. Just then, he notices someone swimming in his direction. He hurried to assist, only to discover that it was Tiger Parker. Scared by Parker's arrival, Pi jumps into the water. But when he sees the sunken ship, he understands that he has to go back to the lifeboat. To stay away from the tiger, he lies on the boat's pole and calls out for his family in a loud voice. The next morning, Pi wakes up on the boat's mast with just the hurt zebra with him. He quickly gets the water out of the boat, but then the hyena shows up. Pi is so scared of the hyena that he trips and falls back to the mast. Meanwhile, a mother gorilla is coming towards the boat while sitting on some bananas. Pi helps the gorilla onto the boat and asks her where her kids are. The gorilla looks at the ocean sadly. That night, a hungry hyena starts attacking zebras. Pi and the gorilla can't stop it, so the zebra dies. Later, Pi finds a book on how to survive at sea, along with lots of life jackets and supplies. He builds a basic raft using life jackets and paddles. Suddenly, the hyena shows up and fights the gorilla, and it kills her. Angry about the gorilla's death, Pi gets ready to fight the hyena. To his surprise, Parker suddenly comes down to the boat and quickly takes care of the hyena. Pi gets off the boat scared and climbs onto his raft. Later, Pi quietly goes back to the boat to get some supplies while Parker is asleep. He sees a rat running around the supplies. Suddenly, Parker wakes up, so Pi gives him a rat to eat and goes back to his raft. At night, Pi cries sadly by himself on the raft. The dark sea is hidden by a never-ending night until morning. When the sun comes up, the sea looks smooth like a mirror, showing the white boat and the buoy, making it seem like they are floating in a bright cloud. Pi writes a letter on paper, puts it in a jar, and tosses it into the ocean. He fervently seeks divine direction while standing between the sea and the sky. He then starts studying the Sea Survival Handbook and gains a lot of survival skills. Additionally, he shakes the boat so fiercely that Parker gets seasick by using the methods outlined in the guide. Pi initially urinates in an attempt to split the area with Parker, but Parker accidentally urinates on his own face. Since Parker could swim to his raft and eat him anytime, Pi needs to learn how to fish to feed Parker. But Parker still jumps into the sea because it's hungry, but it can't find any food. When Pi sees Parker coming closer, he runs to the lifeboat. Parker is stuck in the ocean and can't get on the boat. Pi first brings his raft closer to the boat and thinks about leaving Parker behind. But he can't stand to see the tiger die, so he lifts it onto the boat and goes back to his raft. One day, Pi caught a fish, but he felt really sad after he killed it. He thanks God for saving his life by sending the fish. Then Pi whistles to Parker and feeds him the fish. While Pi is relaxing and looking at the beautiful sea view in the evening, a huge whale jumps out of the water and knocks over Pi's raft, spilling all the food and drinking water into the sea. Just when Pi starts to worry about running out of food, a big group of fish suddenly comes into the boat. Pi manages to catch a big fish from Parker for food and eats it raw for the first time. Because it's risky to go between the boat and the raft, Pi bravely decides to fight the tiger and calmly teaches it to be friendly with his smart ideas and courage. After that, he not only makes friends with the tiger on the ship but also finds his own safe spot. As he travels into new places, Pi has figured out how to survive and change, and he keeps a journal of his experiences. He understands that he can't live without the tiger, and being scared of the tiger keeps him on his toes. Also, to help Parker survive, he has found a new reason to live. No one shows up to save him day after day. Pi discovers a mysterious and amazing vortex of recollection at the sea bottom in the calm evening, where he sees his mother's face as well as a variety of animals. However, Pi is well aware that his family members are buried in the sea aboard the cargo ship. Pi writes in a diary every day, hoping that writing will help him feel better. He can't tell the difference between day and night, or between dreams and what is real. In the confusion and daze, a storm arrives. The boat rocks strongly, and the wind blows his diary away. Pi thanks God for his help, kneeling on the white surface. He tells Parker to pray to God, but Parker is scared and fighting against the waves. Pi asks God why he wants to scare Parker, who is Pi's only friend. Then Pi goes back to the cabin and hides under the boat's sail. After the storm passed, Pi drank some rainwater to feel better and gave some to Parker. Unfortunately, it looks like Parker is running out of time. Pi pets Parker as he gets ready for death. But when he wakes up, they are on an island filled with plants. Pi quickly eats to satisfy his hunger and then walks onto the island. The island is full of plants and roots. In the center of the island, there are lots of small round lakes with mongooses around them. Pi happily swims in the lake, while Parker hunts the mongoose for food. Pi walks in the woods and ties the bracelet that Dancer gave him to a tree root. At sunset, all the mongooses rush to the trees, and Pi quickly goes back to his boat because he's scared. At night, Pi sees the lake shining, and the fish inside it are worn down. Right now, the island looks like a woman lying down. Later, Pi discovers a human tooth inside a lotus flower. He learns that he is on an island where people eat other people, and the lake water is fresh during the day. But at night, the fresh water becomes acidic, which eats away at and breaks down the living things in it. That tooth was probably left by a person who came to the island and died there by themselves. Pi does not like to become forgotten and alone as this man did. The following day, Pi fills his boat with plants, fresh water, and half a boat's worth of mongoose for Parker. Parker boards the boat after Pi blows his whistle, and they depart. No one has ever seen the island, which is reported to vanish when they leave. For Pi, such an event is a sign of God's providence. God never forsakes him, even in the face of overwhelming adversity. After floating for a while, Pi finally gets to the shore. While Parker is tired and resting on the beach, he walks into the jungle without turning around. Pi doesn't understand why Parker just leaves him without any explanation, even though they have been through a lot together. When the locals finally save Pi, he starts crying because he misses his best friend Parker, who was lost during the tough times. People from the shipping company are investigating to find out what caused the accident. Pi shares his story with them, but they think it's just make-believe. So, Pi tells them a different version of the story. For people are rescued from the sunken ship: Pi, Mother, Chef, and the Buddhist sailor. A sailor hurts his leg when he jumps into the lifeboat. The chef cuts off the sailor's leg to try to save him, but the sailor still dies. The chef uses sailor's dead body to attract fish, believing they need extra food to survive. Knowing this, Mother angrily confronts the chef, but the chef harshly eats sailor's body. A week later, Chef hits Pi for letting a tortoise go by mistake. To save Pi, Mother fights with the chef, but the chef kills her. This brings out the dark side in Pi, and the next day he stabs Chef with a knife. After that, he drifts alone on the Pacific Ocean until someone saves him. The investigators don't say anything, or they don't seem to like the second version. The writer is clever enough to connect the two stories. When the writer finds out that Pi is married and has kids, they decide that Pi's story has a happy ending. The investigators decided to believe the first story, and they commend Pi for his courage and determination. The movie ends here. Please, my family, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.